All right, so we officially have week 1 and 2 in the books now. We are now on to week 3. I'm joined by Koby, Caden, Josh, Dillon, and Devin. No familiar faces, or all familiar faces this week, no new ones. So we're just going to get it rolling with the week 2 results. So the Thursday night game, Buffalo beat Miami pretty easily. The one big storyline out of this game was Tua getting injured. Um, he's basically just a guy running around with CTE out there at this point. What are you thinking about a career path for Tua at this point? Having so many concussions and so many hard hits towards the early stages of his career.
At this point, his contract's guaranteed, whatever, 124 million of it or so. So why not take your money and run?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Don't know how the Dolphins are going to be the rest of the year. They're riding with Skylar Thompson apparently, and then they also did sign Tyler Huntley, which I think is a good signing, but um yeah, probably not fun to be a Miami fan right now, Jack Johnson or Riggs
Or,
Pre. But you know
or
what?
to have picked them in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with Riggs Preeb's NFL team sucking, so he can shut up for a bit to me. Let's go on to the next week after, or the next game after that. We have the one where we curse the 49ers. I'm sure some of you Vikings fans in here are happy about that, though. So, Caden, I want your thoughts on Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Sam Darnold is being tricked up right now by Kevin O'Connell, obviously. He can keep playing good like he has. They'll probably, I said it right away on this pod, they're not going to be a 4 or 5 win team. They'll be somewhere in that 7 to 9 range. Um, I think right now that's probably still put them there. Maybe if they want to get frisky, pushing 10, but I just think that the infrastructure and coaching around Sam Darnold between O'Connell and Flores, you probably have arguably one of the better tandem of play callers in the NFL. So still kind of keeping the same. And for some reason, O'Connell and Flores have always coached well against Shanahan. So wasn't a huge shocker. I said the Vikings would probably lose and it'd be close, but I guess we'll see what happens moving forward.
Yeah, that 97-yard touchdown pass to jettison that really game-changing play right there. Very electric play for the Vikings fans. So then only overtime game of the week, the Seahawks Patriots. I honestly didn't watch much of this game. Just felt like a very boring game. Kenneth Walker did get hurt though. Or no, he was already hurt. Yeah, not much to say about this one. Josh, I know you're big on Seattle.
Yeah, they looked all right. Patriots D line is tough, so I am still worried about their offensive line, Seattle's that is, but I do like them everywhere else. I'm picking them again this week, so they're looking to go 3-0. So picking them to win the division's looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, well, I don't think Geno Smith looks like a very good quarterback compared to what he's shown in recent years, but that's going to lead us to the next game.
Hold on.
Almost,
Geno Smith was damn near perfect in the game versus the
Yeah,
Patriots.
Gino did kind
So,
of carry them low key.
yeah, Geno literally had a damn near perfect game. So, no Geno slander. I will refuse that.
I'm just reporting off what Brady Nelson told me since he's not
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. So we know he played really good.
All right. So then that's going to take us into the next game that almost went into overtime. Josh, you almost had that pick right. Commanders and Giants. Not anything to say about this game for me besides Malik Neighbors. Looks like he could be the real deal if only he had a decent quarterback throwing the ball to him. So the Giants are starting off 0-2 this year, just like they do.
You think
Um,
they start Drew Lock eventually or no?
hmm.
Panthers already said screw it.
Panthers did say screw it after week 2, but I don't know. The Giants are so high on Danny Dimes. You know, if you watched Hard Knocks at all for whatever reason, they are
Yeah,
just
that's his guy. That
Yeah,
Joe
that is his
Sean.
guy
That's his
for some
guy.
reason. It's also
paying him-
the Adams guy, apparently. I don't know about that. But
They're paying Daniel Jones too much money to bench him, I feel like. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
that's what I'm kind of feeling about it too. So then the next week or next game, Carolina and the Chargers. Like Josh briefly mentioned, Bryce Young is now benched for the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton. I'm thinking Andy Dalton might have a chance this week, honestly, but there's not much to say about that game. But the next game, there is a lot to say about. Nobody picked them, but the New Orleans Saints.
we cursed the Cowboys again.
Yeah,
Cowboys and Niners.
Devin, I know that you're a big NFC South guy. So what are your thoughts on the Saints right now?
and they looked good last 2 weeks. I mean, Dallas was a real test, and I thought Dallas defense would hold up better, but that defense looked horrible. It looked so bad. And I thought they turned up in the second half, but it didn't happen. And that Alvin Kamara looked like he was in his prime again. So I don't know. That Dallas defense, I don't think if Zimmer's the right guy for that defense. So
Zimmer's old and washed.
yeah.
I was gonna say, if you ask Caden Hunsley, Zimmer's not the right guy anywhere.
Back to the ranch, old
Hey,
man.
I liked
The
him. I
ranch.
liked him. He's just old now. He's just growing out of it.
Mhm.
Yeah. The Saints really just never took their foot off the gas pedal in that game, though. Just absolutely dismantled Dallas. The next game, Koby, you are the only one that did this. Malik Willis in his first start for the Packers. In this game, I will say this game was not as nearly as close as what the score showed because Braden Narvison missed a field goal and Josh Jacobs fumbled at the 1 yard line. And it wouldn't have even been like they literally let up a last second touchdown as well. So, Koby, I'll let you explain your pick here.
Well, like I said, the key to winning that game was the run game. Josh Jacobs, I said, was going for 200 and 2 touchdowns. Should have had at least one, if not 2 touchdowns. I mean, his one got called back and then he fumbled on the goal line. So should have had 2 touchdowns, and he was well on his way to 200 yards rushing. But I mean, keep the ball in Malik Willis's hands. He did make a couple pretty decent throws, but his one touchdown pass definitely could have went the other way. Could have been pretty easy. But the key to this game was Anthony Richardson cannot throw the ball with accuracy. He's got he dropped back, and his first interception just looked horrendous. It looked like he just lofted it up there, and it wasn't even close. The guy cannot throw, other than having a cannon, cannot throw the ball with any accuracy.
Yeah, those are fighting words for Dillon there. Back to Josh Jacobs though. I saw that his 164 yards in the first quarter are the most since a Green Bay running back since 1985, which I was thinking to myself, I have not seen a Packer get as big of a workload running the football in the last 2 weeks as like Amon Green in the early 2000s. So Josh Jacobs, I don't know, they might need to stop wearing him down so much this week, but that's another conversation. Cleveland and Jacksonville, I also did not see anything of this game, but Koby, you are the only one that picked Cleveland as well.
I was going to ride or die with that defense. Trevor Lawrence, I hate Trevor Lawrence. I think the receiving game, Brian Thomas Jr., what do they have? No one. I mean, Christian Kirk has 2 receptions to start the season. Evan Ingram's hurt. I mean, they're just decimated on offense. Travis Etienne doesn't look very good at all. And Tank Bigsby, who was their leading rusher week 1, was out or got hurt, whatever, in the game. So there's just no chance there. I mean, Deshaun Watson a lot better than he did week 1. So I don't know. I'm just
So then next game on the list, Jets Titans. This was a lot closer than I thought it would be, but Will Levis once again has another meme of a turnover. Are you guys thinking that the Titans need to move on from Will Levis or explore other options? Because I will say the backup quarterback is Mason Rudolph. So Should they have moved on from Tannehill so soon?
Yes.
I mean, I think just keep playing Will Levis and then
Yeah.
high pick. That's what I would do.
I think Tennessee hasn't really surrounded him with any. I mean, his wide receivers are old. You got DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley, and Ridley didn't really do
Has
anything.
Treylon Burks played? What happened to him? Has he played?
He's just not that good. He's
I was
not.
he's just not amounted to
He's
anything
just
in the NFL
not
yet.
good, huh?
Yeah.
Coming out, he was supposed to be like a
Oh yeah, he was
big
AJ
body,
Brown Jr.
physical.
Yeah,
He's just like too slow, and he's not that physical. So
yeah.
I think they need to get Spears involved more in the game. I think they're wasting Spears right now. So
They do have that two-headed monster with Pollard and Spears, and yeah, I have not.
Kurt?
I swear they ran it more with Spears when they had Derrick Henry there than Tony Pollard, which
Oh shit.
doesn't make sense. So the next game, Devin, me and you picked this one, the Bucks over the Lions.
that, like I said, they had that game circled after that loss in the playoffs, and I knew it was gonna be a hard fought game. But the only thing Tampa Bay wise, I think they got to figure out the run game, because if they want to have the season they want to have, they got to figure out how to use Rashad White and kind of have the season he had last year. So
Tampa Bay was also they're winning with having so many injuries on defense too is the most impressive thing to me. Baker Mayfield also just balling out like he usually does. So Ravens and Raiders, probably one of the weirdest games of last week. Devontae Adams went off in this game. Gardner Minshew balled out. Are you guys hitting the panic button on the Ravens after 2 weeks yet?
who's Baltimore's OC? Did they get a new OC, or is it the same guy?
no, it's the same guy as last year.
It just
Yeah.
seems like he doesn't know how to use Henry. It feels like, I guess. I mean, Justice Hill can receive out of the backfield, but Henry needs to be your every down guy, and they're using Justice Hill for first, second, sometimes third down. They're not really giving Henry the ball unless it's in the red zone.
And Henry did the same exact thing that he did against the Chiefs week 1, where he was just driving down the field and they just stopped using him, gave him like one touch after that, I saw. So yeah, like I said, I'm a big Derrick Henry advocate, so I don't know why teams use him the way that they do, but I don't know. Doesn't make much sense to me. It feels like if you're the Ravens, you should be able to run the read option 24/7. Either have speed with Lamar Jackson or you have the bulldozer with Derrick Henry. I don't know how they're not just giving the ball every single time to one of those two. Then the blowout of the week, the Cardinals over the Rams. Let's see. Josh, you picked the Rams. I thought you picked the Cardinals in that one.
Yeah, I thought Stafford would pull it out late in a close one, but injuries are too much to overcome.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua both injured. Even Tyler Higbee is injured for them. I mean, I'm not a big Tyler Higbee guy at all, but when you have that many injuries on offense, that'll add up. Caden, you got anything to add about the Cardinals?
Yeah, no, not really. It was good to see them get Marvin the ball. I think if you're a Cardinals fan, you're honestly a little optimistic about the future, depending on how you feel about Kyler. But I did see like those COD codes drop like next month. I don't know, like 5 or 6 weeks or something. Those COD codes or whatever he does drop.
Yeah, Black Ops 6 will drop and Kyler would just turn to crap again.
No, their offense will be good. It's whether their defense will be solid or not.
And their head coach is supposed to be a defensive guy, but I think he was really relying on those.
I saw some clips. Buda Baker's still that fucking. He's that dude.
Oh, Buda Baker's just
Yeah.
All right, and then the next game, Joey B going into what they call Burrowhead. He almost did it again. But lo and behold, late flag every single time. Dillon, tell me your thoughts on this, since I don't know. Sometimes I think you're a closet Chiefs fan, but at the same time, I don't know. I feel like you equally hate on them. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the tales old as time that they got bailed out once again. I mean, Pacheco goes down last basically the last drive of this game. Travis Kelce hasn't done anything this year, but they've been able to do just enough to keep pulling out ball games. It's what they've always done. Now it'll be interesting going forward for next week to see, are they going to throw the ball more? What's their running back room going to look like between Kareem Hunt and freaking Samaje Perine and
Fudge.
dude,
Hill.
I can't stand that guy. He just would poach short yardage gains. I don't know, dude. I can't stand that guy. But yeah, I mean, Kansas City's just going to keep pulling off these close games, whether it's a miracle of Mahomes or a little ref insurance. So
Yeah, I think everybody in the NFL is annoyed at that point with it. So then Pittsburgh and Denver. Pittsburgh's D look good again. They're gonna win them probably 8 games this year, like they always do. I don't think the offense is gonna do anything to add into that. But I will say probably who looks like the worst rookie quarterback, and I'm a big Caleb Williams hater, but if there is one quarterback that looks worse than him as a rookie, it's Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix has looked terrible so far. Which you could argue he's not surrounded with very many good weapons, which I would argue that he is not. But
He was supposed to be the most ready to play.
Yeah, that's
Saw
true.
something that the Broncos were like rotating evenly at wide receiver between like 6 different wide receivers, and I was like, "What? This is the NFL? Like, that's ridiculous."
That is a bit odd. So we'll see if Denver's going to figure it out. I don't think they're going to this week against Tampa Bay, but we'll see. So then the Sunday night football game, a lot of talk about in this game. We all picked the Texans. We were all right. I'm going to say it again. Caleb Williams does not look good. He's the most overrated, overhyped quarterback there is. Which once I will say his offensive line is not helping him out at all. But once he got hit in that game, hit hard for the first time, that dude was like running around the pocket frantic, and he was just trying to get rid of the ball right away. You know, Josh, I know you used to play quarterback, so what's that feel like?
Not fun. You could tell he wasn't comfortable. Everybody could tell. So, they got a lot to work on interior, offensive line wise, but I don't know. Shane Waldron's not really doing them much favors, in my opinion. He has them either throw it right away or hold it too long, and some of just their deep play call shots I don't love in general. I don't know. Don't really love what's going on in Chicago. Defense is good. We'll see if Caleb actually ends up playing all right this year.
I also don't think that DJ Moore likes what's going on in Chicago because he looked pretty pissed off towards the end of that game.
No.
I cannot blame
The mood on the whole offense in general doesn't look good.
I mean, if you're missing receivers that bad, and last year Justin Fields was hitting those shots for you, I don't know, that's pretty tough. So next game, the biggest choke job. I know none of us are big Nick Sirianni guys, but Devin, you picked Atlanta. Josh claims he was going to pick Atlanta if he knew that AJ Brown was not playing, but this is recorded on Wednesday, not on Sunday when AJ Brown was ruled out. So Devin, take us through your pick. And then also after that, Caden, you've got some words to say. You got an apology to say.
I mean, I don't know really. I mean, I just went out with my gut. I think I don't big Jalen Hurts guy because went to OU, of course, but I just don't think he's when it's time to win the game. I don't think he's that guy. I mean, obviously, he had a decent game. Atlanta's defense is really good, and that 2-minute drive by Atlanta to win that game looked really good, and Kirk Cousins looked good. Bijan obviously is going to be an issue if they can keep pounding him the ball. Offensive line can stay like that. He's going to have a huge year. So, but I don't. Philly has too many options, too many weapons to be losing games like that. But I just don't think Jalen Hurts can. If it's time to win the game, I don't think Jalen Hurts is that guy to win games.
You know who is that guy to win games though? Apparently Kirk Cousins.
All right.
I think
Let's just Josh, you could probably answer this for me. Do you remember the name of the guy who got Daniel Jones paid?
That would be Kirk Cousins.
No.
I don't know.
The name of the guy who got Daniel Jones paid. Ed Donovan.
Our defensive coordinator.
Yes. Now, the year the Giants won their playoff game when Daniel Jones sliced up the Vikings defense, Ed Donatel was said to be a Vic Fangio disciple. Well, saw that play out firsthand on Monday Night Football when Fangio was just playing that too high shell and Kirk Cousins just had layups to get down the field like nothing. It all make perfect sense. It was like I was in the Matrix as a Vikings fan watching Kirk Cousins against the shittiest defensive coordinator we've ever had in my lifetime. It was honestly incredible to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm happy for Kirk. They needed that because they got the Chiefs coming this week. Yeah, good for Kirk Cousins, I guess. And let's not forget, he would have never had that opportunity if the Eagles front office would go out and make it, like, maybe just get a running back that can make a play to ice away. He did. He just jumped.
Why are you throwing the ball in that situation to begin with?
They had to play. You got to make that play, though.
Why is he also not getting a field goal in the first drive of the game?
They should win. They could have went tush push, tush push. Both can be true. Have to run the ball, and you have to make that play. I mean, clearly they were sitting on that play. They had it dialed up for perfection. But no, anyways, about Kirk, I was happy for him watching do that. But I still think my stance remains they'll make the playoffs and they'll get bounced.
Well, I'm glad that you at least gave Kirk his props. I'm also glad that he realized that Darnell Mooney existed because he hadn't done anything in the game before. And Darnell Mooney basically won him that drive right there, which I will say he did have layups. I mean, some of those throws were just wide open. I don't know how.
Got paid. He played that defense in a playoff game.
All right, so that's the week 2 recap. So then, okay, standings. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, standings. I'm still at the top. Why is this not working? Oh, there we go. Still at the top. Devin has moved into second. 3-way tie between Dillon, Chris, and Brady. And then Kaysen and Koby tied. Then below that is Josh and Mikkel. Or no, it's Josh and Jose, and then Mikkel and Caden at the bottom. So this is where we see if certain people can have a comeback. It's still earlier in the season. So we're going to see. Why is this?
Is that a Ukraine flag behind you? Oh, okay.
No, it's the Brewer City Connect.
Okay. Either way, it's fine. I was just wondering.
Okay. This week's picks, Thursday Night Football, we're all rocking with the Jets.
Jets, Jets.
Can't say I'm surprised by it. I'm surprised nobody went with the Patriots. I would have thought at least Brady Nelson went with the Patriots or something, but I guess not. So
He doesn't like their quarterback.
yeah, I mean, we all know that's so not much to talk about. Does anybody see New England having a fighting chance in that one?
Yeah.
York, so I don't know.
Ramondre Stevenson carries the ball 30 to 40 times, maybe.
Yeah, what's up with him? He's kind of good this year, and I don't understand how or why.
I feel like he's always been solid. It's just he's their only weapon, and team's always just been loaded up on him for the last, 2-3 years now?
Yeah, that's true.
I think he would have had the year he's having this year if New England didn't sign Zeke last year.
Yeah, that's true too.
Forgot that Zeke existed.
Yeah.
I see this is like a 16-13 game. Like just like a disgusting, slow Thursday night game-winning field goal for the Jets. Just like, why did I stay up for this?
I guess Aaron Rodgers is I get that Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old, but I mean, he doesn't look like he still has it. I mean, there's flashes during games,
He
but I just
looks a little slow. The
yeah,
Aaron Rodgers of the past, nobody could tackle him, touch him in the pocket. Like, he's not the same. He's absolutely not the same.
Well, when you're 40 and coming off an Achilles, I mean, it's kind
And yeah, it's to be expected.
The Jets offense seems like they only want to get the ball in Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall's hands. They don't seem like they're using anybody else in that offense either.
That's a lie. They used Tim's guy.
Braylon Allen, steal of the draft.
Yeah,
I said it
forgot.
back then. Absolute steal in the draft. I was mad he went to New York, but
That dude's a monster.
better than going to Dallas or something. Which he was the youngest player to score in the NFL, or he's tied for.
Tied.
But
Yeah.
that's some guy that played in the like 40s, so we don't count that.
We
So,
don't-
there wasn't 32 teams back then. They were
That guy's a
winning
pioneer,
tournaments.
Timmy.
That
Yeah.
guy was a plumber.
So,
Plumber
question:
back day.
do we not count the Packers championships back then?
Okay, we're not talking about
I'm
that.
just okay. All right.
Whoa!
Okay.
Struck a nerve.
So then Cleveland and the Giants. Once again, we all went one way on this one. I don't think anybody has any reason to be confident in the Giants at all, besides maybe Malik Neighbors.
I tried that last week.
Yeah,
If you can't beat the Commanders, you're not beating Cleveland in Cleveland, I don't think.
that's very true. Dog pound is a hard place to play at. I still think Deshaun Watson doesn't look very good though, so maybe
Yeah.
he could just play like absolute garbage this game and get benched for Winston. I think that's what everyone is cheering for. So then one of the best games of the week, the Eagles and Saints. Devin, Koby, Josh, and Caden, you all went with the Saints. Me and Dillon went with the Eagles. So, Dillon, let's hear what you have to say first about the Eagles.
I mean, I don't think that the Saints' first 2 weeks were like total flukes. Like it looks like there's obviously something there with their offense and how well they limited the Cowboys. I really just think that the Eagles are a better team. I guess it depends if they'll be healthy or not this week with their wide receiving core, but I just expect the Eagles to be able to pull it off. But I will say it is in New Orleans. So, I mean, who knows? Raheed Shaheed could just have 2 bomb touchdowns again and freaking go off. So, but at the end of the day, I'm thinking the Eagles are going to pull it off.
He probably won't have that because the Eagles do play that too high shell, but the Saints will be able to pick.
Yeah,
the
you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I'm kind of the same way. Like the Saints do have the most points through 2 games, like the 4th most points all time or something against or within the first 2 games, but I don't know. I'm just like they still have Derek Carr at quarterback. Like
He gets hot though.
I
Derek
know,
Carr,
but
he can get hot.
I know
With this
I
new
can't
OC.
trust in him. The man had Devontae Adams at receiver once upon a time and didn't do anything with him. So it's like, I don't know. I just don't trust in Derek Carr. I think this is the week where the Saints get exposed for being frauds, but I also like do not want to cheer for the Eagles at all. But I feel like the Eagles, Sirianni's gonna look at the mirror and be like, "Why was I such an idiot in that Monday Night Football game? I was coming off 10 days rest, and we got, the Falcons led for what, maybe the last seconds of the game in that 18 seconds or something." So I think he's gonna have a bounce back week. Eagles are gonna end up winning, but Josh, Caden, Devin, Koby, whoever wants to talk about the Saints, go ahead.
They got the hot hand. So, I mean, they look pretty good. Like I said, I don't think Jalen Hurts is that guy, but playing there, if it was in Philly, I might have had Philly, but playing in New Orleans, and New Orleans is 2-0 and they've looked good, that stadium's gonna be crazy, I feel like. So
That Philly defense has not looked very good either, especially in the back half.
Yeah. They were bad last year. I mean, you should put those rookies in. DeJean didn't even play. So, I mean.
Yeah, DeJean barely got snaps at the end of the game when someone got hurt.
I'm pretty sure I saw something the Saints have they've scored points at least on like every single drive. I don't think the Eagles are going to slow that down. Not from what I've seen.
Sirianni's an idiot.
They're not even getting any pass rush, so it's going to be very hard to. The Saints have a pretty solid offensive line still.
Yeah, I mean, if Cowboys, I mean, you never know. It's week to week league. They could suck. Eagles could win by 30, but so far from what I've seen, Derek Carr has played so much better than Jalen Hurts. I mean, just facts.
And I believe AJ Brown is probably going to be out this game.
Yeah, I don't picture him playing either. And
Doubtful.
I mean, you double Devontae, stack the box, look for Saquon runs, make Dallas Goedert and Jahan Dotson beat you, I guess. I mean, I'm not that impressed with that.
Maybe you don't even double Devontae and you just stick Lattimore on him.
Yeah, I mean, that too.
How
Saints
long?
defense is also pretty good. I mean,
And their O-line is pretty good. That's why Derek Carr's ripping it. He's got time.
Tim, did we convince you to flip?
No, I'm gonna stick with the Eagles.
right.
I think Sirianni is gonna be like, yeah, what was I doing? And I feel like the Eagles are just one of those teams. Well, last year they were not, but I feel like they'll be one of those teams that's like, oh, well, we just got embarrassed in that game. We're gonna come back, hit the Saints in the mouth, whatever. But yeah, regardless, the Saints are by far the most shocking team in the league so far because I don't think anybody had them on their radar at all this year. Besides the fact that the Super Bowl is being played in New Orleans, which Lil Wayne was very salty about not being the choice for their halftime show, which I was also kind of surprised by. But anyway, that'll take us to the Texans and Vikings. Josh, you're the only one on this call that said the Vikings, so
You want me to get my case? I mean, Stroud's obviously good. He's looked good, but I don't think he's seen anything quite like what this Flores defense has got this year. Like Purdy said after the game, the scheme is crazy.
Bro.
We've upgraded at a lot of almost every position defensively, and they look good. They're flowing. I'm picking the Vikings here. I think hoping Jefferson Addison plays. If they don't, it could get a little tough. I think Texans defense is solid, but I think we turn over Stroud a few times, and as long as Darnold takes care of the ball, I think we win.
Houston did not look very good last week. Like, I feel like they should have won that game by a lot more, and they were basically
what I mean.
saved by Kaimi Fairbairn the entire game.
Yeah, their O-line is not playing great right now.
No, yeah. How serious is Mixon's injury? Anybody
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know about his injury. I honestly don't think he's playing Sunday. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. Cam Akers get loose.
Damian
Game.
Pierce is
Yeah,
disgusting.
there's a lot of headlines in that game. A lot of revenge game
I
for
was gonna say,
the Texans. Yeah, Stephon Diggs. You got Daniil Hunter. I guess Cam Akers on the Vikings
Green
side.
and
You got Johnny
Cashman.
and Blake
Yeah.
Cashman.
There's
Yeah.
a lot.
I mean, first game that Diggs has been back in U.S. Bank since he was a Viking.
Yeah, if you guys think I was listening to a Vikings pod earlier. I don't know. They were debating if they're going to cheer for him or boo for him.
I think
it's pretty mixed, to be honest.
Yeah, it'll be pretty
I think they
mixed.
boo him, even though I feel like they should cheer him. Because who else is doing the Minneapolis Miracle?
Yeah,
Right.
Whatever.
Now would be
Jefferson.
totally reason to cheer him. Like if he didn't have that play, he'd definitely be getting booed.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And we traded him. I mean, really.
Well, he forced his way out, but
Yeah, he did.
He's just a prima donna anywhere that he goes. We all know this.
How long before he starts it on the Texans? I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like
He's got to be a good boy this year. He's only got the 1-year deal.
I'm kind of surprised that we're not more split on this one, but it also is very hard to just pick against the Texans like that. So that's why I went with the Texans. But if the Vikings win this one, I'm gonna have to admit that the Vikings actually look pretty good this year, probably. So Denver and Tampa Bay, complete opposite. It's gonna probably be a terrible game. It's in Tampa. Denver has not looked good at all. So, anybody have anything to add about the Broncos?
trash organization. Sean Payton can kick rocks. I mean,
How about those new uniforms? Anyone like those?
No.
I don't know. I do have to say about the Broncos. Living in Nebraska, the fucking local game every week is the fucking Broncos. So,
That sucks.
yeah, fuck the Broncos.
Yeah, that'd be tough. So then the next game after that, Packers Titans. It's Malik Willis's revenge game. Although when I asked about it today, he said, "I don't care, bro," to the reporter about playing his former team. That traded him for a seventh rounder, which I feel like was an absolute steal for a backup quarterback. But um, I think in this game, which it's also a revenge game for Matt LaFleur, I guess, because former OC of the Titans. I think, like I said earlier, I feel like they should try to use Josh Jacobs a little bit less this game, just so that he can have a little bit of longevity through the year. Maybe use Emmanuel Wilson a little bit more in this game. I saw Marshawn Lloyd just got put on the IR, so I'm thinking LaFleur's going to let Willis air it out a little bit more this week than he did last week, just because he was, first start last week, just getting comfortable. Now he's on the road in a stadium that he's played in before. So that's why I want Packers here. I also don't think the Titans are very good. Their defense is pretty good, but their their offense with Will Levis has been terrible. So, Devin and Josh, you both picked Tennessee. Devin, let's hear what you have to say about that.
I think Tennessee's defense is going to make Malik Willis beat them. I think they're going to try their best to shut down the run because I know that's what they want to go to. And I think that Titans defense can make Malik Willis pass the ball and show if he's actually a quarterback that can throw the ball or if he's just going to run the ball every time.
Yep, I'd agree. I told you, Tim, and I'm picking the Titans until they win a game. Their defense is too good to be this 0-3, 0-4. Their defense is too good. Will Levis, just please to God, don't do anything stupid.
They'll have on their defense Jeffrey Simmons, Harold Landry,
Andre Sweat, L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah, they're still a pretty solid defense, and I think Willis is gonna have to throw that ball more than how many times he only threw the ball like what 5-6 times last game.
Yeah,
I
He's
mean,
gonna have to throw the ball.
posting 126 passer rating though. He was
I don't
very
know. I
efficient.
mean, Malik Willis might just be better than Will Levis straight up.
I will not argue.
I won't argue that. I know
And
Kobe won't argue
actually,
that.
I do know that Malik Willis with LaFleur's coaching.
yeah.
than Levis.
I was gonna say give Levis the weapons and LaFleur. I would much rather have Levis.
But can you stop Will Levis from being Will Levis? That's the thing.
Which is also
you
the
might not. You might not be able to.
Well, we're talking Brian Callahan at head coach, and then we're talking Matt LaFleur. LaFleur's obviously clearing Callahan in that one. But Josh, I don't want to hear you say anything bad about the Packers receivers ever. So
Never have I said anything bad.
Can you rank their receivers in order best to worst? Because I feel like this could change any week.
it really can. Most underrated is
No, that's not what I asked.
Well, right
What
now,
are quick stats looking like this year?
it depends.
You don't want to look at the stats.
Serious?
Hey, what works better? Having four receivers, four equally pretty much receivers within the same realm, or having one really solid guy and having nothing else around him? I don't know.
Or one guy that makes
a guy
the
nothing
whole
else around them is a bad situation. Because that's suggesting that like Jordan Addison is your wide receiver one, and then nothing else is around him.
Well, I'm just
He's
saying.
a solid guy.
Packers have a bunch of wide receiver twos, and it's been working out for them. Last week it was, or 2 weeks ago, it was Jaden Reed. Last week it was Josh Jacobs, but Dontavian Wicks caught the touchdown.
Romeo
for Christian Watson. He hasn't injured his hamstring yet, which is shocking, but then Romeo Dobbs, it'll be his week, one of these weeks too. So
The debate of Packers receiver room or Titans, yes, I would rather have the Packers.
I mean, you're talking either DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, and Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, I don't want the Titans receiving room.
They were all good at one point, but getting a little bit old and washed.
Oh, we could be debating a good Tyler Boyd, DeAndre Hopkins, and Calvin Ridley, but not now.
Yeah, we don't need to do that in this pod.
Show must go on. So
Yeah.
uh, it's the Colts and the Bears. This is what I'm gonna say. Caleb Williams, you are garbage, but this is your prove it week. The Colts defense has looked god awful. I mean, week one, you're letting CJ Stroud pass all over you, which is one thing, but then also letting Joe Mixon run all over you, which the Colts somehow still almost won that game because of Anthony Richardson's big playability and his 47% completion rate. Because I know Kobe would want to say something about that.
That's right.
Um, so, but then it's like last week, you let Malik Willis, who has a career 3 interceptions to no touchdowns or anything good, anything positive in the stat line, and he goes off last week for 126 passer rating. So Caleb Williams, this is your chance to prove all the naysayers wrong. Like, if he doesn't do it this week, I am going to straight up say he is garbage, which I have already said. But I'm going to double down on it. I'm going to double down on it because he has played like trash. He has 267 yards through 2 games. How many picks does he have? 2? Or is he
2 or 3?
2 or 3 and no touchdowns. The only thing he's done is led Khalil Herbert to a goal line touchdown. That's the only thing he's done on offense. So this is Caleb Williams prove it week. Devin and Kobe, you both went with the Bears.
I'm gonna go with the Bears, just hoping that Caleb Williams can get it right. I know that offensive line has sucked. I don't doubt Keenan Allen's back, but I mean, you still have DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. I mean, still 2 quality options. And Colts defense just lost Buckner again this week. So run defense that has been horrible just got worse. So DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, if you guys have any chance, give him the ball, let him run. But Richardson's my main reason for picking against the Colts because the guy just cannot throw the ball with any capable. Like, half the time I think he could throw better blindfolded, like, and have better accuracy. So they're between the Colts defensive struggles and Richardson. About the only way they're going to win this game is if he pulls out a week 1 performance and just throws a bunch of bombs.
Dylan, I know you're still holding on to Anthony Richardson, which thank you for him having a horrible game last week because I had Josh Allen, Dylan had Anthony Richardson. They both scored 11 in that game.
Yeah, that was disgusting. Anthony Richardson, he can be allowed to have a bad game, right? I mean, can't everyone? I'm sick of people calling for his head already, like he's Bryce Young. Bryce Young can't run the ball or pass it. I've tried to be in on Bryce Young. I'm out on that. But Anthony Richardson, I think he's gonna be just fine. But if they can't beat the Bears and they drop to 0-3, and let's say he has 2 picks, I'm not gonna say it's time to look at Joe Flacco or Jason Bean, but I'll be a little scared for my fantasy team to say the least.
Okay, Jason Bean, get him for the conversation because Sam
Let's get
Elliott
the
is
name out
the
of here.
3rd string quarterback and Jason Bean on the practice.
No beanball needs to be seen.
Bean.
I fucking hate Jason Bean.
Bean time.
I
I
fucking
don't
hate
think
Jason
anybody
Bean.
in the world likes Jason Bean besides Dillon Gross.
I love Jason Bean because he had to carry KU last year after Daniels went out, which I wish Daniels would have just not came back at this point. But
Caden, do you have anything to add about the Caleb Williams thing, or why are you riding with the Colts? Because I know you're optimistic about Williams still.
Oh, I wouldn't say I would not say I'm high on Caleb or low on Caleb. I would just say I'm not going to judge him until this full season is done. If I was the Colts too, I would take the same approach with Anthony Richardson. This dude's barely played any football. Even if he has continued struggles, you have to play him just because that upside is so high. What if he does pop in the second half of the season? So you just have to ride it out the full year. I do hope Caleb Williams ends up sucking ass. I hope you're right, Tim. You and Nelson. Who wants to deal with that in division if he does live up to this potential?
That's true. Another one of the games that's, I guess, a little bit frisky of a matchup here, the Chargers at Steelers. Nobody in this picked the Steelers, but
Yeah, still.
I don't know. I don't have much to say about it. J.K. Dobbins, though, he's looked pretty good. I mean, coming off an ACL tear, I don't know. He looks pretty good. He could be probably the front runner for comeback player of the year.
Well, what week do you think he tears his ACL again?
You shut your mouth. My fantasy teams and my fantasy hopes will be crushed.
Let the Gus Bus loose, baby. Come
Also,
on.
Tim, the Chargers are making the playoffs. I looked at their schedule.
Oh, yeah, their schedule is. Oh, but also along with that, the Steelers' schedule is pretty bad too. So,
But the Steelers' offense still sucks.
Yeah, that's the
true.
thing about the Chargers. Like, you know, they got Justin Herbert back there, and that schedule they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, it feels like a classic game where Steelers are slight favorites and they're kind of supposed to win. They're definitely going to let you down.
But is it going to be the same Chargers team that we've seen in
No.
years that plays down to their opponents and then loses
No,
in the last
not
second
the head ball coach in Harbaugh.
Yeah,
But the
Yeah,
Steelers still have Chris Boswell, so I don't know.
That's
Been a
true.
great kicker this year for them. So I don't know. That's one of the more entertaining matchups this week, I feel like. The next one does not seem entertaining. I don't think I'll tune in for this one at all. But
I think Seattle's really good.
Seahawks in Miami. I'm not even that high on Seattle. It's just I'm not high. I know
You're
I
not
said
high on your boy Skylar Thompson?
I know once upon a time I was high on Skylar Thompson, but I don't know. Playing at CenturyLink Field to begin with is hard, especially as an East Coast team going to the West Coast. I don't know. It's hard to do that. I don't know. There's just nothing.
Will the Dolphins lead the league in screen passes?
Yeah, I was going to say Achane is going to have to go off, and then they just quick throw to Tyreek and Waddle. I mean,
Yeah.
Seahawks going to have to tackle this week.
Do you guys think that Skylar Thompson plays the full game, or are they going to go to Tyler Huntley, who they just signed and probably does not have any reps?
I don't think he can go to Huntley, not with no reps and just
No.
getting there.
Skylar Thompson played good in that playoff game. Like, he's shown you can be decent. So, I mean,
I don't think he's good at all.
he might not be good at all, but at least
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
But
I think
Devin,
he's like Will Levis.
Devin, is that your Big 12 bias showing is the thing? Because I know that's what it is with Jason Bean, even though I also hate Jason.
Yeah, well, Jason Bean beat my Sooners last year, so fuck that guy. But Skylar, he throws like in preseason, he was throwing like 2 or 3 picks a game when he's going in the preseason. If you can't play QB as QB2 in the preseason, you can't play QB1 in actual regular season game.
preseason is all lies. All the rookies look good in preseason.
Yeah,
Everything you see in preseason is a lie.
Well, Skylar Thompson's been in the league for like 3 years now, and he's throwing 3 picks in the preseason. So
I do have a quote from Tim saying from July of 22, when the Finns head coach pulls his head out of his ass, he will start Skylar Thompson over Tua, and they will make a wild card spot.
Hey, what year did he play in the playoffs, Josh? Well,
3 years ago? Was that Tua's rookie year?
no, it wasn't rookie.
I might have been straight on with that, 2022. But I'm still standing by it because I don't think Tua's good at all. I think he's super overrated, and now he might not even play anymore. So yeah, not much else to mention with this game. And I don't think there should be anything to mention with the next game besides the fact that it's Andy Dalton against Gardner Minshew. Chris, by the way, is a Panthers fan. So
Makes sense.
Speed to that, man.
if Bryce Eimers was in this, I'm sure he'd be picking Carolina this week too.
I saw a stat that Andy Dalton's like 32nd all time in passing yards or something though. So at least you have a competent quarterback out there that could maybe give you a chance to win.
Well,
And
the
then-
one that's been halfway decent in the Panthers system is Andy Dalton.
Was
See,
Thielen,
that's the problem.
was Thielen racking up all those catches last year with Dalton?
I think he was.
Yeah, he was.
You know what I would do? if I was the Los Angeles Rams. I would make a little call on Bryce Young.
I saw that Chase Daniel, I think, said that. It was, yeah, Chase Young.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was Stafford goes to, fuck, I don't remember who it was.
I'm not even saying you got to get rid of Stafford. Just let Stafford play this year and next year. Have Bryce Young sit, and then let Bryce Young.
Not a Stetson Bennett believer.
That guy went to Georgia. Fucking.
So did Matt Stafford, though.
He's the third stringer. Jimmy G is technically the second stringer there, and I'm sure they're high on him, which is
Stafford went to Georgia before Georgia was queer.
But yeah, Bryce Young, we'll see what Dalton can do. I don't think it'll be much, but I think it'll be better than what Bryce Young did.
I believe last time Dalton started for him, he had like 361 passing yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah,
So
that's what I mean. At least you have competence.
Johnson gets put on now. I know Josh was high on him in fantasy. Wouldn't trade him for the bag, and now Deontay Johnson has been sucking dick.
Deontay Johnson was the least valuable asset in that trade, but let's
not get that
twisted.
I'm going to give you this target on a shitty team that's going to be wide receiver 1.
Also, I hope he gets traded. I heard rumors that he might get traded.
To where?
Anywhere else.
Honestly, the Rams could come calling.
Yeah, I mean the Rams.
The Rams with Nakua and Cup out. I don't know.
What do you think it'd take to get Bryce Young right now? Like a second round pick, third round pick?
Less than that. Yeah, 4th or 5th probably.
Maybe 7th.
First overall pick. Okay, what was Wentz traded for?
Well, I don't.
Thought it was a second.
Because Wentz actually showed that he's a competent quarterback.
I would guess you'd have to give I would guess you'd have to give at least a third.
No shot. No shot.
Dude, former first in the most dysfunctional organization in the NFL from the owner on down.
So you're telling me you give like
I wouldn't give up a 3rd round pick for his.
So back in the day, you would have gave up a 3rd round pick for Jamarcus Russell because they've been about the same, you know.
Well, I can't speak to that because I wasn't really a ball follower during that time. So I don't really know what that that's why, like, when people ask Jamarcus Russell or Bryce Young, I'm like, well, I don't know. I wasn't really alive for that. Or like
2008, bro.
I was gonna say we were.
I wasn't like. I mean, I was alive. I wasn't like. You know, I didn't like understand. Like, you know.
Yeah, who remembers stuff before
you comprehend it?
We get what you're saying, Caden. That's just when Kirk Cousins was getting his career started. Really, when he was like, you know what, I'm going to take football.
Hey, you want a little fun fact on Kirk Cousins? Bro never even won a high school state chip. He's not a winner.
He's not a winner.
He's not a Josh Giles. He's not a Josh Giles in the NFL.
He would have in South Dakota, probably.
Yeah. Doubtful.
Okay. Anyway, don't know why we spent so much time on that game. The next game, probably won't spend as much time on it either. Niners, Rams. One of those nice NFC West matchups. This could have been like the Sunday night football game if they could flex games, and then also if anyone in the Rams was healthy. But
I think Debo's not playing too.
Yeah, Debo's out.
So I mean,
this is really just a game of injuries, huh?
It's the Brandon Ayuk comeback game.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you have Brandon Ayuk in your fantasy lineup. Or Jordan Nelson, and I know Josh does not, so shout out for Brady Nelson there. Niners, I think, win that one just because they have their healthier roster and they have a better roster. So then, one of the best games of the week, potential to have one of the best games of the week, Lions and Cardinals. Dillon, Koby, and Josh all went to Cardinals.
I go the Cardinals just because Kyler Murray's been playing pretty well. At least last game played pretty well. If they keep Maserati Marv going, Trey McBride looks pretty solid. Greg Dortch, I think, is going to have a killer game in the slot here. So, that's my fantasy pick 'em for, a deep league. But I need to see some more out of my MVP talk here of Jared Goff because I have not seen nothing. Everything else in the offense looks all right, but Amon-Ra already hurt and possibly not playing. I don't know if they have enough weapons to get her done if Amon-Ra doesn't play and Jared Goff keeps playing this bad.
But when you have the best duo of running backs in the league with Gibbs and Opportunity, I don't know. It's kind of hard to steer away from that. I still think David Montgomery should be the starter in Detroit, but that man can just truck people like it's nothing. Caden, do you think the Lions have a bounce back week after that loss to the Buccaneers?
Who are they playing again?
Cardinals.
Yeah, they probably how physical the Cardinals that you're talking about one of the best O lines in the league going up against one of the worst D lines in the league. So yeah, hopefully Jared Goff finds Laporta a couple times. There's too much talent. Yeah, I think the Lions win.
Yeah, on paper the Lions should win by double digits, but going out to Arizona, it's a weird place to play. Lions just haven't looked the same as last year, so Lions should dominate if they want to let everybody know that they're real again, but they look bad again versus the Cardinals. I'll have some questions about them for sure.
Is Amon-Ra actually going to be out?
It's not. I think he's questionable, but we'll see what he's like on that ankle.
Koby, do you think they get Laporta more involved going forward?
I feel you have to. He was a stud rookie tight end for a reason. You draft him with that high capital, get him in the game. Especially, you don't really have. It's not like you got a plethora of receivers. You got Jameson Williams for a deep target and Amon-Ra. So get him involved. That's what got your stud offense last year. So you got to.
Where did they lost Khalif Raymond? Where did he go?
Did he go? Where did he go? No, is he still there? I think he's still there.
Josh Reynolds is who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Josh Reynolds went to
he's on the Broncos. He caught that flea flicker.
Yep, that's right.
The Broncos with their 6 wide receiver rotation that they're running.
Yep.
Meanwhile, they cut Tim Patrick, which
also was on the Lions. But so I saw the Lions only have short, fast players now. They don't have any big, tall receivers.
Nope.
Yeah,
why you get the ball to Laporta?
Yeah,
they need to put on
Harry Vikings practice squad.
Can we say something about Jaden Yonke? Oh, he's not. Bring in Jaden Yonke, please. Okay, so the next game, we have 2 very disappointment of games last week. Very disappointing games for these teams. Ravens ended up choking it to the Raiders. Cowboys got blown out by the Saints. Most of us are riding with the Ravens here, except for Koby. I knew Brady wouldn't be because Brady, that's his letdown team is the Ravens. But Koby, why Dallas?
I might have to change my pick after today because I seen CeeDee Lamb became questionable. But if CeeDee Lamb plays, force feed him the ball. This game could go either way. It's a 50-50 game here. It's both got pretty solid defenses. Both have streaky offenses. But, at the end of the day, if they don't get Derrick Henry the ball, Ravens don't have that many weapons on the offensive end. The lack of receiver talent, just outside of Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews, don't have a ton.
What are you trying to say about Tylan Wallace and Rashad Bateman?
I think Rashad Bateman's always hurt. Tylan Wallace, loved him in college. Haven't seen much in the pros of him. Did love him in college, though. But I just think this is a 50-50 game, and my dart throws on Dallas in this one.
Yeah, I agree. Got to get Derrick Henry the ball. I don't know. Dallas it is good that it's a home game for Dallas. I'll say that much. But
last week was a home game and they got the shit beat out of them. So
that's true. Yeah. I don't
It's
know.
disgusting that Brandon Cooks is their wide receiver 2 in 2024.
I don't think that Cowboys offense is as good as everybody thinks it is. Besides CD and Dak, Dallas don't really have anybody. I mean, they ran like a four-man rotation at running back. If Deuce Vaughn's getting snaps, and you got an issue. So
I saw
Yeah.
that. It was
Yeah.
like second quarter, and Deuce Vaughn was getting like an inside run, and I went, "What is
Yeah.
going on?"
the dude can't even
Hey.
see the offensive line. He can't even see where he's
Yeah.
going. So
The
Turd
guy immediately
Ferguson's
grabs
back.
him and just
Turd
throws him
Ferguson's
5
hurt.
yards.
I mean, we're only gonna have one generational Darren Sproles. His name is Darren Sproles. It is not Deuce Vaughn. So you guys are right on. Deuce Vaughn is nothing compared to him. He was good at Kansas State, but nah. But it is big to have Turd Ferguson back for them. So then let's see. Sunday night football. Kirk on Sunday night after playing on Monday night. And the Chiefs come to town. Devin, I see you're once again riding with the Falcons.
yeah, I don't know. And Kansas City always struggles with Cincy, but I don't think Kansas City's offense is as good as it has been. Kelsey's old and can't do nothing anymore. Rashee Rice he's good. Where they don't really know what to do with Worthy because Worthy's small. He's not a physical wide receiver, and they don't really seem like they know what to do with him. But Atlanta's defense is pretty good, and if Cincy's defense can force interceptions, then I think Atlanta's definitely will too. So I think Atlanta pulls out the upset, and it's in Atlanta, so I think it'll be a tough place for Kansas City to play. So I think it'll be close, but I think Atlanta pulls it out.
When do you think the last time that Atlanta hosted a Sunday night football game was? With Matt Ryan for sure, but
Probably with Matty Ice.
2016.
I could definitely see that. Like, I feel like the Falcons play on Monday night football a lot, but like Sunday night, I don't know.
Crazy. They have Chick-fil-A in there. They get to use it like once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hopefully that game will go to overtime, maybe go till midnight.
Do we see Xavier Worthy maybe getting some more out of the backfield work in this game?
That's
That's
kid
what I'm-
alive.
Yeah.
That's bold. He's too little.
Yeah, he's a tiny guy.
But he's so
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, I don't know.
They'll get some jet sweeps with him.
Yeah.
Will he outrun Matthew Judon? Judon lived in the backfield last game.
I almost think that you should use him like the Packers use Jaden Reed.
I totally agree. He
That's
just needs to
kinda-
add about 30 pounds of muscle.
Yeah. Well, they already got Rashee Rice. I've already been seeing they're calling him the new slant merchant, new Michael Thomas.
Ooh, you're not wrong.
Like
His
Michael Thomas, though, is the real question.
What'd you say about him?
Will he be out of the league like Michael Thomas is the real question.
No, he don't have chronic ankle issues.
too many slants, too many routes.
Yeah, that's what happens. He
Yeah.
keeps running those slants.
Well, okay. Do you guys think that there's a chance of a late game penalty in this one, or do you think the Chiefs are just going to blow them out? Anyone who picked the Chiefs.
I feel it'd be a close game, but yeah, I could definitely see it coming down to a Chiefs penalty to win them a game again.
God, I hope Taylor Swift doesn't go.
Hopefully Kirk Cousins can win this one for the Falcons.
The real question is, how many games have the Chiefs won in last minutes of the game on a stupid penalty in the
I don't
last,
know, but
say, 5 years?
I'm just saying the last time that I saw the Chiefs like choke something on Sunday Night Football was against the Packers. Absolutely love that. You know, even if you're a Vikings fan, you have to love that at some point.
Oh yeah.
Last season, yeah, that's when Jordan Love really started turning it around. But Dylan, it's also a Sunday Night Football game, so you know damn well Mike Tirico, and here's a guy, Chris Collinsworth, is going to sit there and just be chomping at the bit talking about Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that's gonna get annoying. You'll get a lot of the
National
Collinsworth
stage
classic. The
ball.
I
know,
don't know about that, Mike.
One thing I can say about Cousins is I would way rather take Julie Cousins over Brittany Mahomes or Taylor Swift. She's just a fine-looking, respectable lady who is clearly a good family woman, a good mother, a good wife.
Likes Pizza Ranch.
Yeah.
Big's a man who wears
Hello, Josh
cold
Bernard.
Kirk Cousins
clothes.
picked a good girl.
Hey Tim, can we get maybe a surprise outfit of Tim back in the Pizza Ranch gear?
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, I could find that. My camera roll
Guess I
quick.
should probably block out Dillon real quick. Yeah, but Caden, I didn't even know that her name was Julie Cousins. So that's a good thing that you don't know someone's, their significant other's name.
Well, from the Netflix, from the quarterback talk.
Hmm.
That's the only reason I knew.
Well, I think we're all hoping for a Falcons win because I'm just sick of the Chiefs at this point. They're more unlikable than Tom Brady's Patriots, which I've said before. So then that'll take us to the two Monday night games. We have two Monday night football games, Jacksonville and Buffalo. I don't think this one's going to be close. Buffalo,
Jacksonville looks horrible.
Jacksonville looks horrible, and Buffalo looks a lot better than people gave them credit for. Devin, I know that you're low on Buffalo. So are you still low on Buffalo from what you've seen?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought they weren't going to be as good, but obviously Josh Allen, they have Josh Allen. He's carrying that team like crazy. But I don't know. I think Jacksonville's not a good team. I mean, that offense is not good. I just think Josh Allen. I think it's going to be another blowout. I think they're Buffalo's going to beat the shit out of Jacksonville. So
Yeah, I don't really think there's anything to say about this. Even with Josh Allen's like hand injury, he still looks pretty good out there. And obviously last week with all of Tua's turnovers, he didn't have anything to do and James Cook going off. Like he didn't even need to do anything last week to win that game. Um, let's see, the Bengals and Commanders then. I think this one's going to be the closer one out of the two Monday Night Football games. But I don't think this one's going to be very close either. I could see it being a trap game for the Bengals, but everyone except Chris was riding with the Bengals on this one. I think the Bengals are going to be pretty PO'd about getting screwed out of that win last week against the Chiefs and probably just going to come out here and attack Jaden Daniels the entire game. Trey Hendrickson is pretty good.
Will Jamar Chase get it right and get 10 targets this week?
Yeah, that's a good question. Now, I don't like you guys said earlier, I don't think there's any reason to play T. Higgins either, so no need to rush him back.
I just think Cincy can that run. They have no run game. I think that's just going to kill them.
I know I
So
thought Chase Brown would be good, but he has not amounted to anything.
They
Zach
got to
Moss-
put him on. They got to let Chase Brown. Let's put Chase Brown on.
Free Chase Brown?
They've been running with Zach Moss too much. Put Chase Brown on more is what I think.
Yep, I agree.
I mean, he was a stud at Illinois, so I don't know. Okay, who is still in the Survivor?
I think I am too. We're on ESPN?
Kobe
too?
is and Devin is.
No, I'm out. Fucking Ravens blew my fucking shit.
Oh, you picked the Ravens?
Oh, tough.
Yeah, good old Ravens.
Well, Josh, who would be your pick for Survivor this week?
I'm pretty sure I picked the Bengals.
Pick the Bengals against the Commanders. Well, a lot of people week one picked the Bengals, me included. They let me down, so.
Tim, do you know who I picked off the top of my head? I can't remember.
Was it the Jets last week? You picked the Jets last week, didn't
Yeah, I
you?
picked Jets last week.
I was gonna say I thought you picked the Jets this week, but
Oh, here we go. Nope. Yep, I picked the Bengals. Show group.
I guess it doesn't show you who Kobe picked.
No, it doesn't really show you
Kobe,
much.
are you ballsy enough to pick the Raiders? Is the real question.
I don't think I picked the Raiders. I really don't. I actually, you know who I bet I picked? I bet I picked Green Bay this week. Because I rolled.
Well, they're going against your favorite quarterback in the league.
Yeah, I think I rolled heavy against them Titans.
Kobe, is there a single AFC South quarterback that you like?
No, not at all.
It's me, Kobe, Kason, and ESPN fan 09734411609.
I think that's Jose.
8675309.
Wow.
Shout out.
I can't. Tayson told me who his pick was, but I can't remember who it was. But anybody have any final thoughts to add?
Let's not get so many injuries this week. How about that?
Yeah, that's fair. Probably the most injuries I've seen within 2 weeks of an NFL season.
That or like if I'm gonna wish an injury on somebody, let's like I don't know, somebody like Will Levis.
Oh,
Al Michaels, get off the broadcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Al Michaels, you get off the broadcast. Chris Collinsworth, you get off Sunday night.
Let's just have some good vibes. Let's get a few more scoregamis and make a good weekend out of it.
Scoregamis.
You
We
like
like those.
scoregamis? Is this going to be the third straight week that we have a scoregami? Is the real question.
Yes.
Think so.
Keep the streak alive.
I hope so. All right. Well, next week we should be able to have some letdowns, whatever. Hit the panic button, and then also maybe power rankings thing or something. Because week 3, I don't know, know a little bit more about the teams. So appreciate you guys coming on, and we will be back next week.